when your mind goes into like panic mode and everything just looks really, really dire, the best question you can actually ask yourself is which of this is actually real? That, sometimes it works. Most times it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But then most of the time your brain will say, "Oh, that's right. That didn't happen. This hasn't happened yet. This hasn't happened yet. Only this has happened. So how would you know, right, that this is what's going to happen?" And when I say this, I'm talking about the worst case scenario could happen, right? Because you almost never have proof that that's going to happen. Never. It's all your brain, right? And we've talked about this on previous episode, and I'll restate this because I love this. And I think you pulled up the quote the last time. I think it's Mark Twain or somebody that says, "I've seen very terrible things in my life, most of which never happened."
Yeah, yeah. And I think the most impactful thing you said to me today was that everybody has that, or you have that, you feel that. And I think that's an important part of why we're doing this. Is it's when I learned a lot about imposter syndrome early on in my entrepreneurial journey was, oh my gosh, everybody goes through imposter syndrome. Most people think, oh, they're going to figure me out that I'm a fraud. Even the most successful CEOs and executives still feel like that kid in middle school or high school, and they're like, oh, they're going to figure out, I don't know what I'm doing. And the same thing with when I'm talking about worrying about being the provider and all that. It's like everybody goes through this stuff, and I like being able to talk about this with somebody instead of showing up at these networking meetings and I'm Graham Kuhn, I own Focus Films, and we're killing it. It's nice
That's
to be
right.
able to have these conversations. It's like, nah, man, I'm going through some shit right now, or I've gone through some shit. And sometimes I get in my head, and then having somebody to talk to and be like, dude, me too. I do it too. And I'm like, wait, what? Luther feels like this? What? Luther, who I put on a pedestal as this like executive kind of like, but it's so refreshing. And I think it's so valuable to talk about this stuff and be like, dude, everybody experiences this.
That's the whole point of this podcast, is for us to have real conversations and definitely invite real conversations from others as well. I do want to double click on something that you said just now, which is imposter syndrome. I may get found out. I want to give people listening to this that, you know what? Even if you did get found out, like let's say you thought you were doing something, maybe you're playing in a league that's beyond what you're capable of, and things happen, and then all of a sudden you're like, that's it. Like, oh my God, like I can deliver. I got this title. I started this business because I thought I was gonna kill it, but then I ended up losing all of it because I didn't know what I was doing. It's okay, right? It's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, I know it's easy for us to sit and say this, but I hope like somebody listening to this can hear that and be like, yeah, it is truly, it's okay. Like, you quit panicking, right? Step one, stop panicking. Step two, like you said, Graham, what is the next logical step that you should take? Like, and just sit. I think the best way to do it is just sit down with a piece of paper, maybe a book or whatever, and then just, sit in your room by yourself and just think that through. Like, what is the next logical step? And if your mind goes into a spiral, stop the spiral, because the spiral is what really makes it worse at the end of the day. But if you could just think about the next logical step, it makes a huge difference. And then that's the thing that I always have to practice, is sometimes when mind starts to spiral and you're like, oh, this is going to happen. And then this is going to happen. And then, oh my God, this is going to happen. And then, I guess what, like my kids are homeless. Like it always ends up with kids are homeless, right? For some
Yeah.
reason, like, it's like, then you're like, no, we're not, we're so far from there. Like all I have to do is get this guy to do this, or get this company to do this, or get this person to, sign a contract. That's all it is. And then boom, we're back in maintenance mode. As long as I'm in maintenance mode, I can breathe. If I can breathe, I can run, right? Like at this point, I just need to keep walking.